Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. His name is Mike Brenner. We are the odds couple. You come to sportsbookreview.com. This is the Friday NFL recap show that we do every week, and we're going to be joined later on in a bit by Jeff from BMOCwins.com, who's going to give his opinion on the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. All right, Mike Brenner. Obviously, we all know that you kicked ass all year long, but specifically you kicked ass in the wild card round of the playoffs. Let's throw the record up one more time, just for people who aren't familiar. In the wild card round of the playoffs, you did go 6-1, nailing 3 out of the 4 games. Again, loser with Detroit, but every other game you nailed. You nailed Pittsburgh.
You know, with the Detroit game, Pete, at +8, I'll take the loss because they didn't show up. You know, shame on them. But
All right. So what you've gotten so far, what you've given so far officially is you gave Atlanta first half, which wound up being -3. Atlanta -4.5 on the full game. You gave the Pats on the first half. You took the bookmaker opener. That wound up being -10, I believe. And then you took Pittsburgh. You gave them +3 at -125. And that line, of course, has moved. And I only gave one pick on the Monday show, which was the under 45.5 in Pitt KC. And
Still
that line, of
that?
course, is that line, of course, is now 43.5 market wide, or 44 a few places. But
like that
all right.
too. And you know they're going to be having some very, very cold weather, baby.
Yep. So that's where we are right now. And I mentioned that Pittsburgh, they've had success with unders at the end of the regular season. They were an under trender on the road, and KC was an under trender at home. So everything was pointing under as far as I was concerned. All right, Mike Brenner, before we go to Jeff from BMOCwins.com, anything you want to add? Anything you want to pull? Any whatever?
I'm not going to pull anything, Pete. I like the direction, especially with Atlanta. The more I think about that game, the more I like it. I think this is a really, really good setup for them. This is a dangerous offense, and I think they're very well equipped to absolutely take the whole NFC. I think they could represent. I think they could beat Dallas. I'm going to add, if we could do this, Atlanta on a futures to win the NFC.
Well, we have the I have the pinnacle odds right here. Atlanta is +245 to win the NFC.
I like that. That's a futures +245. I'm making that official today. Again, I like them to beat Seattle. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was a double-digit win. Matt Ryan's focused, and everybody got to remember Dan Quinn, 2 years removed from being the defensive coordinator from that same team, all right, and took them to 2 Super Bowls. He knows those players. They respect him. He knows their offense. He practiced against that offense every single frickin' day. All right, I'm telling you, this is the advantage. They had a week off to study this team. This is a Brenner no-brainer, baby.
All right.
It could go south. Are you going to jump in this car?
No.
I'm not going to throw you out. I'm not going to let the door open.
That one makes me nervous
out.
because they could lose to Seattle and they'll have a tough game, whether it's the Packers or Dallas. They'll have a tough game.
It made you nervous yesterday when I went with St. Mary's. We went head-to-head, and they won by damn near 40 points.
You're absolutely correct.
All right, I love you. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just fired up about this pick.
You have earned the ability to give me a hard time with your results in these shows.
So
I'm just giving my opinion.
I know, and I love your opinion.
It's not worth that. I'm just saying I look at this. I say they're probably going to beat Seattle, but I could see a loss, and then they'll definitely have a tough game.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you
think?
think, Mas or Menos, as they say in Costa Rica? What will be the team total for Atlanta?
What? For this week?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, it would be, I guess.
You had a look on your face like, holy cow, wow. I can't believe you're asking that question.
I guess it'd be like 28 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little too high for my blood there.
But, I would be leaning over in that one, but I'm not going to give it.
Okay.
And,
but yeah, I'm adding that, and then I'm adding one other, buddy.
Okay,
you ready for this one?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, all right.
I had to go deep on this, and I'm anxious as hell, even though we won't be talking about this specific game, but I do want Big Man's breakdown on this because I'm pulling the trigger pistol, Pete. I am taking the Green Bay Packers on the full game. They're going to go into Dallas. Experience is going to get it done. I love Prescott. Elliott won't be stopped. You can't stop that kid. But I just got a feel in Prescott, this kid isn't used to 16, 18, 19 game seasons, all right? He's got to be getting tired. And there were a few times this year where he was vulnerable. Got a feel in the experience, and right now you got a freight train rolling in, right? When Rodgers said we got to win out, they did more than that. Him and McCarthy are back on the same page. Experience. This is dangerous. I think they're going to go in there. I think they're going to get that win, and Coach Jerry Jones will be going home again. Good year for Dallas, but this is one I think everybody's just kind of sleeping on. I love it. I'm pulling that trigger. What's the best shop line for Green Bay
on the spread on the full game? Well, because of I'm guessing the Jordy Nelson injury, and also because Dallas off the bye, it's gotten bet up. It opened at 4, now it's up to 4.5 or 5.
She giving me +5.
The Greek and Bet DSI +5 minus 110.
I'm taking it, Pistol Pete, and I'm not feeling nothing but fired up about it. I feel really confident about that play.
Yeah, the line is climbing and might even climb higher just because of the the injury. Jordy Nelson's officially out now, and
absolutely. And I'm also going to do one other thing, and I like this. I think this is going to be a really sharp angle here. I'm going to be putting Atlanta, the Patriots, and Pittsburgh, baby, on a 3-team Brenner teaser. And
Okay.
they've been good to me all year.
3-team 10-point teaser.
Yes.
So we'll do that. We'll give you bookmaker
God, I
lines.
love this,
Okay,
Pistol.
so what are the teams?
Atlanta.
Okay, hold on. So that'll put you at +6.
Okay.
Okay.
Patriots.
That'll put you at -5.5.
Okay. Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that'll put you at +11.5.
God bless America
Okay.
giving me Pittsburgh an 11.5.
All right. Okay.
love it.
Sounds good, Mike Brenner. And the only thing I'm thinking about is I'm definitely going to stick with the...
There's no way in hell I'm going to believe there's only one thing
No.
that
The
you're
only thing
thinking
I'm
about.
seriously thinking about is the over. We talked about this with our last podcast with Danny B. I said that I like the over in Houston, New England.
Yeah, he
it's a
did
little
too,
bit
I
of
think,
a
right?
yeah. I mean, obviously Houston has and New England has a defense that's underrated a little bit, but I think it's a little bit of a low total. And but you know what? I'm going to hold off. It might be one of those 30-3 games. It might be one of those games that's like relatively high scoring. And then the fourth quarter, everything just shuts down.
You know what?
So,
We're good friends. We've been working together a long time. But, buddy, I got to put you on Front Street. You got to step up on that Twitter because these guys are hammering me. Brenner, get him to accept my invite. Brenner, get him to accept. So,
I will do that. Tonight I will accept
a Twitter
a whole
follower
bunch
that
of
said, ask Pistol Pete what he thinks about the over and under in the Patriots game.
All right, well, my opinion, I'll give it. I don't know if it's worth anything. My opinion is I would be leaning over 44. The Greek has -110. Now, again, though, obviously, I could easily see this one looking like it's going to go over and then the scoring shut down late. So, you know.
Okay.
But
I'm pretty sure that was the right game for that Twitter follower.
Yeah.
But if not, I will get the right one and get
at
Pistol Pete
44,
on it.
I would lean to the
But
over.
I'm doing your damn homework, taking your. It's like you get a test at school, but the teacher gives it to me, and I got to go home and fill the damn thing out and do your
All
homework.
right. Yes, I will step up my Twitter game.
You'd have been in trouble if I
All
did
right.
your homework.
All right, so let's go to Jeff from BMOCwins.com. We usually talk basketball with him, but he's got some opinions on the divisional round games, or at least one of them. Jeff from BMOCwins.com. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Can we at least get a picture on your Twitter?
A picture, yes.
Except for that raindrop or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
I guess that stuff matters. I mean,
Raindrops
does
falling
that
on my
appeal to? Because I'm all about appealing to the
But look at
millennials.
that mustache. Is that appealing? Are you kidding
Yes.
me? We got people that want to clip your mustache and they want to auction for it. Come on, Pete.
That is true. That is true. I did read about that. They want to buy your mustache.
I'm all about appealing to millennials. And do you think that
here we go with
millennials
them
like
fancy
pictures?
words again.
Yes. Do you think millennials like pictures on Twitter? Will that help me with millennials?
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot of stuff about what appeals to people, and yeah, I mean, a lot of people think egg profiles are fake a lot of the time. So.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
Pete.
No, I'm telling you, I'm desperate to.
You got Big Man and Brenner putting you on Front Street. You better correct that. You better straighten that ship
I
out.
tweeted at you last night. You didn't respond.
Yeah, imagine that. Hey, guess what he did do last night? I promise you,
Yeah.
this is one for the ages. All right, and if there were odds for this, I would have won plus 800 or something. Pistol Pete answered his phone when I called him. I swear to God, I about damn near fell down.
I
Anyway.
tailed him on a play last night. It hit, and I said, great job, and he didn't respond.
All right. Yes. No. I am desperate to appeal to millennials. All right, Jeff from BMOCwins.com. What can you tell us about the divisional round of the NFL playoffs?
I think Mike makes some great points about Green Bay. I mean, we see it every year with one of these teams where they kind of had a tough, turbulent year. Their quarterback kind of rallies the troops.
Yep.
They head into a playoff scenario where they've covered 6 or 7 and won some games they maybe shouldn't have had. Now they're playing a team that they can beat.
Yep.
I think they're a live dog in this game. I really do. Anytime I have Aaron Rodgers on my team, I definitely want to back him. You also look at the fact that, Dallas has kind of rested a little bit. Maybe they're a little lethargic here. I don't think their defense is as good as maybe it is on paper. I think they're a bend but don't break, and I think Aaron Rodgers may break them. I also look at the fact that Green Bay is a pretty damn good rush defense, one of the better rush defenses in the league.
Yep.
I think they'll be able to I don't think they're going to shut down Ezekiel Elliott, but I think they'll have a decent time. I think they're a very live dog here. I'm concerned with no Jordy Nelson, but they still have Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams. I think this is a close game nonetheless. I actually think they can go in and win it as well, Mike.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty
Okay.
solid break.
All right. So
You going to jump in now?
on what, Green Bay?
Hey, last time him and I got in
Yeah,
the same
no,
car. We
not
went
right-
to the
not
bank,
quite yet,
baby.
not quite yet, but I definitely agree with the lean for sure.
time's running
so,
out,
so
Pete.
you're
It's Friday.
So your lean on these. Your one game that you want to circle is Green Bay at +5. You like that one as well?
I was actually just commenting on it. The game that I'm very high on,
Okay.
and I want to kind of break down, is I'm very high on New England this week.
Yeah.
I think the general thing in playoff football is you don't lay double digits, but with New England, I'm not sure why you don't in this spot. I mean, let's first break down how they are as a home favorite of 14.5 to 21 points. They've covered 6 of 9. They're 13-3 against the spread this year. And guys, in the last 40 seasons, there's been 3 teams that have laid 15 or higher. All 3 covered, and all 3 won by 20 or more points. So I'm not that concerned laying this number. You look back, I don't really put a lot of stock into previous matchups. No Tom Brady, still won 27-0. Brock Osweiler couldn't do a damn thing. Brock Osweiler, at the end of the day, is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns, and I'm not sure that a couple weeks now at the end of the year is going to change anything. Brock Osweiler is not a good quarterback. I think against a defense like this, he's really going to struggle. They can shut down Lamar Miller, and that's how you beat Houston. I think their defense is a little overrated. You look at on the road, they're giving up 24 points a game, only scoring 14 against the best defense in the league. I think they're going to have some problems here. They also, New England's covered 4 in a row against the Houston Texans. I think time's running out for Houston. They're going to get run out of here in a big way. Do you really want to bet against Tom Brady in New England in the playoffs? I don't. I think he has. I think he's focused. They're focused. They made it clear they're not going to take Houston lightly here. I don't put a lot of stock into what happened previously, but what was Houston's defense's excuse in the first game? I mean, Jacoby Brissett, for God's sakes, kind of did whatever he wanted as far as the score is concerned. I'm going to lay the number here. I don't think this one's close. I'll go 37-13, something like that. It's going to end for Houston here.
All right.
I got to jump in here, too, because, I absolutely just love everything he broke down. And, of course, we've been doing some different videos, and people say – and I like the first half extremely well because one thing the Patriots aren't is stupid. So come fourth quarter, all right, they're not going to pull a Big Ben and leave him in there too long. But here's the thing, and Big Man just absolutely nailed it. All right, first of all, I've said it all year. This is one of the best defenses in football. It's under the radar. All right, it wasn't actually a playoff game, but a couple weeks ago, it was a frickin' playoff game. The Patriots needed the win to get home field advantage. The Buffalo Bills needed the win to get a frickin' lot, have a shot in the playoffs. That's a frickin' playoff game to me. 30-3, are you kidding me? Boom. Here's what happens. They go out, they do their damage early and often, and I don't think they're going to let a backdoor cover. Osweiler, I can't say it any clearer than what Big Man did. Now, last week, I felt an edge with him because he literally had a phone call from Peyton Manning. All right, I think he's the kind of guy, though, that will wear off. He's going to go in. He's out of his league here, totally out of his league because he's not a playoff caliber frickin' quarterback. And this team's going to go in there, and that big frickin' chip on Tom Brady's shoulder that's as big as Idaho is still there. And him and Belichick and company are going to get it done. They're going to smash that team. I think it could be a 30-10.
You know, it's funny, Mike. Remember in that game, everyone was so concerned. Do you really want to lay 16 with the Patriots against the Bills here?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big number. I mean, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, exactly.
You really want to bet against Bill Belichick?
Exactly. And that was a playoff game, Big Man. They needed that win because Tom Brady said, I'm taking every advantage we can get this year. My time is closing as far as Super Bowls. So he wanted that win. That's a freaking playoff game to me.
I gave Brock Osweiler the benefit of the doubt for 5 or 6 weeks, but at the end of the day, he's not a good quarterback.
No, he's not. No momentum. Ask his
players.
They don't even like playing with him. They don't like huddling up with him.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to lay the number here. New England has just been a rock-solid bet at home in the playoffs. Peter, as far as the under, just want to point out, or the over, 14 games this year with the Houston Texans where the combined score didn't equal over 45. So,
they're terrible offense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I'm like hesitating about it, but it's just we saw what happened last weekend. If they get down, they might there might be a backdoor cover on the over.
But here's another thing: I don't think the defense is going to be resting a lot of people, and this is a defense with pride. They more than anybody know that they have been totally disrespected, and they don't mind it because they love being under the radar. But this is a very, very top caliber defense, so they're not going to want a backdoor cover. They're going to want to stay 4 quarters on that field, and if they have any chance at a shutout, by God, they're going to go for it.
I mean, Houston's defense is good, but I think J.J. Watt adds a lot to that defense.
He does.
I mean,
and Giovanni Clowney, he brings it when he wants to. He doesn't bring it every week.
They had trouble stopping people. They weren't that shutdown team everyone thinks they are.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot to say here. I think this is a absolute blowout.
Hell, you've said quite a lot. I love it.
All right, sounds good. Well, right now there are some 14.5s available. So Jeff from BMOCwins.com recommending the Pats minus 14.5.
I'm adding one. I'm jumping in there because if 14.5's available, I'm taking it. They're going to bury this freaking team. Hell yeah, because the last time me and Big Man jumped in, we went to the bank. You went to freaking Dairy Queen or something.
Minus 14.5, minus 110. Okay, sounds good. Mike Brenner has added 4 plays to his official slate. We've gotten some input from Jeff from BMOCwins.com. Thanks so much, Jeff, and we will be back on Monday for the opening lines for the conference championships.
Let's get it done, Big Man.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts and shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.